I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but this sport and its headlines go like 500 miles per hour, like every single day. So basically, there's this rainbow armband that pops up every season to promote LGBTQ+ acceptance. And about a month ago or so, it caused a decent amount of controversy. It all started when Ipswich Town's Sam Morsey refused to wear it because it was against his religion of Islam. Mark Gahey also caused a stir when he wrote "I love Jesus" and "Jesus loves you" on the armband. This was blown way out of proportion though, and this was mainly because everyone was just so on edge at the time. Because Gahey's actual message was pretty wholesome.
Yeah, I think the message was pretty clear, to be honest. It was a message of love, of truth as well. And a message of, inclusivity, so I think it speaks for itself.
And then there was Nusayr Mazraoui. As opposed to an armband, he refused to wear a rainbow-themed warm-up jacket because of his religion. And then United just abandoned plans to wear the jacket altogether, which was just really spineless by them.
Is anybody surprised about what happened? No!
Nope. These incidents aren't anything new either. Last year, Anel Ahmed Hodzic refused to wear the armband because of his religion, and in Liga, they have their own anti-homophobia campaign, and that has caused a ton of controversy over the years. In fact, it dates back to 2022 when Idrissa Gana Gueye refused to wear a shirt with rainbow numbers on the back, which is kind of funny because the guy's last name is literally gay. 2023 saw Zakaria Abouklal and some of his teammates refuse to support the cause. And then in 2024, Mohamed Kamara straight up just covered up an anti-homophobia badge, which, by the way, wasn't even a rainbow. It was this. Before we go further into this though, of course, it is that part of the video where I show you guys some of the food that people are eating while watching my videos. First, we got some nasi goreng. I haven't had some in so long, I might try to find some now. On to the next one, and god damn, that is a lot of meat. Pause. And lastly, we have macaroni spinach well. If you'd like to have the chance of featuring on the channel, all you gotta do is take a picture of whatever you're eating while you're watching one of my videos and tag me on either Instagram or Twitter. Going back to the Premier League Rainbow Armband, it is part of the Rainbow Laces campaign, which started in 2013 by LGBTQ+ charity Stonewall. Initially, it started out with players being sent out these rainbow-colored laces, but as time went on, rainbow laces grew into an even larger movement. Corner flags, substitution boards, and armbands. And as you've seen from this video so far, a lot of that pushback against this movement is because of religion, more specifically Islam. But you know what is also haram? Gambling. Sam Morsey, gambling company. Idrissa Gana Gueye, gambling company. Zakaria Abouklal, I wonder what that massive sponsor could be on his shirt. I feel like in a religion, you can't just pick and choose. Like if I was Christian, I don't think I could just love thy neighbor, but also at the same time just ignore the fact that stealing is not okay. People will argue, well, certain things are more forbidden than the other. Man, just leave it, okay? It's easier just to say that you're a bigot, okay? Like, you do not need to go through these gymnastics. Also, just to take a page out of 2022, whatever happened to respecting a country's culture? Or was that just a way to disguise your blatant bigotry? Because I haven't really seen anyone else on YouTube do it. Actually, I've seen more of the anti-woke content to do this kind of stuff. Joke's on you if you clicked on this thumbnail, by the way. But let me explain the importance of something so simple like a rainbow armband in the Premier League. Only recently have LGBTQ+ voices been more visible, but back then, the members of the community had no one. People tend to forget just how homophobic and transphobic society was, especially in such a male-dominated space like football. LGBTQ+ members of the community were bullied physically and emotionally relentlessly, or they were just too scared to even be themselves. And that's such a suffocating feeling knowing you gotta second guess holding the hand of your partner at a match. It should not be that way ever. The armband represents hope. It represents a changing of times. When a player wears that armband, it helps members of the community feel a sense of belonging that not too long ago they didn't have at all. Will this armband change the minds of people still engaging in this type of behavior in the stands? We'll get back to that later. But even just seeing a player who represents your club wear the armband means the world. It won't relieve the pain and grief of generations before, but it's a step in the right direction. And at the end of the day, that's all this is. A small step for the LGBTQ+ community to be treated like everyone else. So when a club captain of all players refuses to wear it, for members of the community who have fought for their own rights, it's disappointing. It invalidates the discrimination that LGBTQ+ members experienced in the past and still on a near daily basis. This is why it always annoys me when people say this armband is forcing its beliefs on people. No, it's a symbol of belonging for a community that has long been ignored. Their love for football has been tainted by the discrimination they experienced in the past, and that simply is just because of who they love, and that just shouldn't be the case. All the armband does is show solidarity and empathy towards a community. That's it. People will argue though, well, they have a voice now, so isn't that enough? Well, if you've seen the comment section of any football club talking about anything related to LGBTQ+, usually the comments are absolutely heinous. And look at most of the posts about Jakub Jankto coming out. They're horrible. So tell me, is that enough? I've also seen some really dumb arguments like this one simply asking, do people force you to wear a Santa hat or sing Christmas carols? In all fairness, this was in response to a tweet that could have been worded better, but there's a word limit, which has kind of prompted me just to make strongly worded videos instead now. I compared the whole campaign to other things, like holidays, because not everyone is Christian or Muslim, just like everyone isn't gay or trans. But what I wanted to add was that even though some holidays are not for everyone, clubs and leagues still make celebratory posts because these gestures are about representing the diversity of the fan base, not about demanding everyone adopt a specific identity. Sure, this particular movement has a rainbow armband, but it's like someone who isn't religious wishing someone Merry Christmas. It's just a gesture to support someone. People say it's forced on them, but it isn't. It just encourages more acceptance in this world. You have the freedom to reject it, like many footballers have already done. But I have the freedom to tell you you're a human being devoid of any kind of empathy. Also, to the grifter pick-me that responded to my tweet. Brother, they will never accept you. Just take the leash off. Be your own man. When you analyze a lot of these arguments for 1 to 2 seconds though, it all just kind of comes down to ignorance at the end of the day. A frequent pattern amongst a lot of critics is that they see this more as a political message when it's literally just human rights. When it's literally just a group of people asking to be treated equally. And while yes, some of these people are just plain hateful, a good amount of the problem has to do with the fact that there really isn't much of an effort to tell people why this movement is important. Some of the blame has to go towards rainbow laces because I feel like now you just see rainbows slapped on a random weekend, but no one really knows why. I mean, look at No Room for Racism. Has it really made any progress? Doesn't seem like it, because they don't really put any effort to do so. The Rainbow Laces campaign has to do a better job at communicating their message to the outside world, besides just saying love and acceptance for all. This armband wasn't just born out of nothing. There's history behind it, and those stories need to be told, unapologetically and uncensored. Because you're not gonna get anywhere with just love and acceptance when talking to a person who is a devout Muslim who has known nothing but their religion. Conversations need to be had, long ones. The only way we're gonna see actual progress with a movement like this is by getting over the wall of ignorance, and you're not gonna achieve that by just telling captains to wear a rainbow armband without any kind of explanation. Because until we as a society accept the fact that we are all just dumb, this is how we have to approach movements in order to avoid miscommunication and misunderstandings. And in this era of social media where certain extremist accounts are very quick to skew the story in a completely different and more divisive direction, this is more important than ever before. I feel like one of the biggest deep-lying issues in the football community is the acceptance of LGBTQ+ members. We are so far behind, it's not even funny. I think a lot of that has to do with globalization. We already talked about this in the international fans video. And while that is kind of something that is very hard to deal with because it's just people from all across the world and there's different levels of acceptance all across the world, there are people in those communities all across the world. They just aren't as visible. And by doing campaigns like this and actually making sure that they have meaning to them and intentions, we can maybe make the world, or at least the football community, just a little bit more accepting. I don't know. I just want this video to maybe help make the football scene just a little more accepting. That's it. With the community I have built, where there's a lot of people in the LGBTQ+ community, I mean, I just want them to feel more welcome. That's it. That's all. Hopefully with this video, you gain a new perspective and just think about it, you know? Just let it kind of like marinate a little bit. Because at the end of the day, I think it's more healthy to just kind of accept everyone. Not have any hate in your heart, you know? Don't need to hate on people who have done literally nothing to you. It just doesn't make any sense. Why hate on people who are just trying to seek the pursuit of happiness, right? You're also trying to seek the pursuit of happiness. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why live a life of hate when you can just live a life of positivity? It just, you know, it feels pretty straightforward. Anyways though, a massive shout out to all our members, including Janos Balash, Brazilian Fury, Jeremiah Owusu Ajimang, Django, Anazir Makalongkom, Alex Rod, Ulta, Miguel Munoz, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Slider Kid, Taco Okafan, Cypriot 35, Not Windows 95 Man, Kentra Agacha, Saint Terrence, Sylvia Citrus, Wise Orange, Rasher Enthusiast, Cocosaurus Rex, Samu, Cheesebait, Winder Gel, M4 Dustuff, Finn Likes Rugby More, Davox, The Porter Guys, TPSK25, Polo Protos, Von Fan, Lucien Von Kreuz, Gezeger Sprecherkiewicz, Mano Tango Fei, A Ghostly Owl, Coney Wolves, Mud to Nye, Sketchy Card, KM89, Apollo, Tango Jazz 1, German Sayu 7, Thrilling ADT 13, Los Milos, Petrus 249, Freya, Dominic Griffin, Kyler Kress, Mohammed Altanib, Nish, Patrick Barley, Rashford God 5, Raspberry Ale, and Unbroken Persona. If you would like to become a member of the channel, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, follow my Instagram if you'd like. We're gonna not do the Twitch this time. I want to get 100 followers on Zhao Hongshu. I know there's no point of it, but let me just have 100 followers on Zhao Hongshu. Anyways, but until then, I'll see you guys.